Welcome, everybody, to Hanging Out with Howie on Monday nights. Tonight, I have a very special guest, Alex the Bubble from Cyprus. Hello, Alex. How are you?
Hi, Howie. I'm good. Thank you very much. And yourself?
Today's a good day. It's a good day. I'm excited to have you on here. I was inspired by your background and your story about being a destination DJ. Now, you're from the UK, correct?
Yes, originally I'm from the UK. I've lived here in Cyprus for 10 years now.
Okay, so was what prompted you to move to Cyprus?
Uh, it's an interesting story. I had a life-changing event happen, but I had inclinations to come here to Cyprus. But when the event happened, I had the opportunity to move to Cyprus. And I didn't originally come here to be a wedding DJ. I actually came here to work in the bars of Ayia Napa, which is a big holiday destination here in Cyprus. 6 months of nightclubs. So I thought it'd be fun, be great. Nightclubs, working in the clubs every night. So that was my original intent when I came here. And I did that for a season. And then I had the opportunity to do a wedding. And it was my first destination wedding. I'd done some in the UK, but here in Cyprus is a little bit different when you do weddings because you get couples from all over the world coming. And my first wedding actually happened to be an English and Russian wedding. So the bride was Russian, the groom was English. So it was a little bit interesting and different cultures trying to blend them together.
Oh, it sounds very interesting. Now, did you once you saw that opportunity, have you advertised in the UK to say, "Hey, come here for a destination wedding"?
When it comes to advertising, I do a lot of advertising on social media.
Hmm.
So obviously Facebook being the main social media. And there are certain pages which are dedicated to getting married here in Cyprus. So most of the people that are on those pages are couples from the UK. So they use that as a source of information for booking suppliers, finding tour operators or wedding planners. And that enables them to, they can ask questions as well if they're doing it independently. So those are the main places. So it's a specific source where I advertise rather than advertising in the UK where the people that may be looking at the advertisements in a wedding magazine aren't necessarily the specific group of people that I'm aiming to advertise to.
Oh, that's very smart. So basically, your target advertising then, if you're in that group that is dedicated to the Cyprus wedding type thing.
Indeed, yes.
Oh, wonderful. So, how many? I know that we're in this, pandemic now, but typically, how many events would you do during a week then? Normally.
During the week, it'll be maybe on average, probably about four to five. This year, I've got 120 weddings booked. That's over a 6 month period. So that would the season. Some hotels are open from April, but 90% of them are open from May through to the end of October. So that's the 6 month period. I mean,
So
obviously,
what?
being a destination wedding. Sorry, being a
Mhm.
destination wedding, we do weddings Monday through to Saturday. So it's not obviously in the UK or in the States, if you're not doing destination weddings, people get married Friday, Saturday, when people don't have to go to work the next day if they're traveling and things like that. So it's a great opportunity. You can do a lot more of the job that you love, but it's obviously during the season, which is, as I said, from May through to October.
Oh, well, so you do have a bit of an off season then.
Yes, but the good thing with that is obviously October finishes, we can relax for a month during November. And
Hmm.
then December is obviously the Christmas parties. January is
Hmm.
always quiet, but I think that's quiet as a whole because most bars or venues, etc., their budgets aren't very high because they spend the budget for Christmas, New Year's, and things like that. And then of course
Hmm.
February we have all the regular things like we have February 14th for Valentine's Day. But it's a little bit slow. But then obviously it's only a couple of months, and then it picks up again, as I said in May.
Wonderful. So now, when you um, advertise or just post in these particular Cyprus groups, do you mention the hotels, show pictures and so forth like that, or just your services?
I don't mention the hotels because when you're working with hotels, every hotel has a different policy, either with advertising or how they allow the suppliers to come in, and they vet the suppliers. So when you work in a hotel, you're normally working and paid for by the hotel rather than the client. Some hotels, they allow independents in, but others you become what they refer to as a recommended supplier. So let me just do a quick screen share here.
Wonderful.
So here are some photos of various different venues that I've worked at. We've got the beach scene here. So when you look on the photos here, you can see on the mid left, which is like the red background. This venue here is actually on the beach. So if you look on the right side with the fireworks, that's on the outside. So a lot of my venues are on the beach, or if they're within the hotel, I can show you another picture here. Just change this around. Oh, there we go. There we go. So this one here is actually above the pool. So again, within the hotel. And a lot of the time, the venues are a daytime venue. So this particular one is a bar during the day. And then the wedding team will come in and they'll set up all the chairs. They'll set up all the decorations. This particular here got my own uplighting there as visual decorations. But they come in, they'll decorate the chairs, set everything up. So in the nighttime, it completely changes around to a wedding venue. So this particular one, the dining area is at the front. And then the background here on the far side is where myself, the DJ, or other DJs, for example, would set up. So they have it on the far side there.
Those are some beautiful looks you've shown there. Now, do you find that sometimes the hotels provide the lighting, or do you mostly do that?
No, the hotels provide the venue. Sometimes they'll provide venue decoration, chair bows, sashes, centerpieces and things like that. But the majority of the time, again, that's down to a separate supplier. So the bride will contact Cyprus wedding decor, for example, and they will come in and decorate the venue as the bride has requested, and from their catalog.
What I'm getting at is do you provide the lighting to make it look beautiful besides the bows on the chairs and so forth?
Yeah, so uplighting, which is one of my cash cows, as you might refer to, is a big seller. The uplighting is a very big seller, and gobo as well, gobo projection.
Yes, because I can see above you a couple of movers, and those are always a big hit.
Yeah, I mean, even though we're in Cyprus, I always try and make sure that I supply equipment to the same high quality standard as any other DJ. Just because we're in Cyprus, my clients are from the UK, so they're expecting quality of service to match top professional wedding DJs in the UK. So rather than turning up here and like having this sort of like how can one put it, stereotypical relaxed local DJ with a really out of date system and a couple of spinning lights, I want to give a professional image. And it's like, well, you went to a wedding, you went to so-and-so's wedding in the UK, and that DJ had high quality sound system that's up to date, lighting system again that was up to date, modern, and I want to produce the same thing.
Yes, I love the looks that you showed. That does say top notch, and especially if you're going to bill yourself as a destination wedding DJ, that is the way to go, without all the spinning lights and the decker type things and whatnot. That looks like a very elegant look that you have there. Now, when you do weddings on the beach, are they primarily daytime weddings, or is that just ceremony type thing on the beach?
So, majority of the time here in Cyprus, there is a daytime ceremony. The ceremony is a civil wedding, and that's conducted by the municipality, by the
Hmm.
local council. The weddings will last for around 15 to 20 minutes, so it's a very small service. And
Hmm.
so that's done during the day. Normally, they will run from about 11 o'clock during the day through to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That's what time you can book your appointment, shall we say, book your
Hmm.
ceremony time. And then in the evening time, majority of the time, weddings will start at 6 o'clock in the evening. Guests will
Hmm.
arrive. They'll sit down. They'll have their meal, then speeches, dances, and then the party. And they'll run up until 12 o'clock at night. Some hotels, depending on the noise abatement, will have it a little bit finish a little bit earlier. But
Hmm.
again, majority of the time, we can run till midnight, which is great because the bride gets to see a whole day through rather than finishing before midnight.
Wonderful. Now, are you a preferred vendor at any of these hotels?
I am. Obviously, with quite a few hotels, they have more than one venue. So,
Hmm.
therefore, they need more than one DJ. So, there's one hotel where I'm part of a team of 5 DJs. I am also preferred vendors with several wedding planners
Hmm.
and also venues which are far afield. For example, I'm a preferred vendor at a venue which is around 110 miles away. So, it's a
Hmm.
220-mile round trip. But even though it's a long way away, it is a very good venue. I can charge a little bit more for that
Hmm.
venue because the clientele that they get expect to pay more because the venue is, a bit more upmarket, shall we say?
Hmm.
It's a bit. So some venues, it's how can I say? It's a bit like running a restaurant. Some restaurants may charge this amount for a steak. Other restaurants will charge a lot more for a steak. So
Hmm.
some venues you can excuse me, some venues you can charge a little bit more, but that also is extra price charge is reflected in the setup because I have more space, so I can do a little bit more of an interesting setup and make it bespoke to the venue. And that's also another reason why I am a preferred venue for some places because one venue they've requested because they said the bar staff love your quality of sound, and I'm like, okay, it's an interesting way of putting it. Well, they're here all the time. They've heard every DJ we've ever had. Your sound system is the
Yes.
best. And so, now it makes sense, because you're thinking, well, it's the bar staff. What do the bar staff know about sound quality? Well, they've heard everybody that's played here. They're here every time. So obviously, they're a
Well, that
good
makes
people
sense,
to
though.
speak to.
They might not know technically what you have, but they know good from bad. So,
Exactly.
Alex, you went there to become a bartender, and you bartended for a while. How did you manage to make it to the coveted preferred vendor list? Was that word of mouth, or did you have to do some work on your part?
Uh, well, no, I originally came here to Cyprus. I was given a job opportunity to work as a DJ in a bar for the evenings times. But
Hmm.
it was the venue in Paphos I'm speaking about. They chose me as a vendor over the sound system. I originally worked there independently,
Hmm.
and uh, basically, working there several times. Then they came to me and said, "Oh, would you like to be on the preferred vendors list?" I said, "Yes, great. It's an honor. Thank you
Hmm.
very much. A pleasure." And that's basically how I've done it. I started off originally as an independent, but once you go to certain venues and you communicate, you network, if they're
Hmm.
happy with you and the way you work, then hopefully they should bring you on board.
Wonderful. It's a fascinating story to me that you would leave the UK, go there, and then work 4 or 5 nights a week. That's success to me. It sounds like your plan worked for you.
I'm enjoying it. It's as I said, the first wedding I did was an English Russian wedding. Since then, I've done uh, Israeli weddings, Lebanese weddings, Bulgarian, Romanian. What else was it? Many. Yeah, I think I had an Indian. It was an Indian groom and a Cypriot bride, and that was quite interesting. And sometimes with these weddings, it's not only the couple which are from two different backgrounds, but you have many of the guests, a very international crowd of guests, which means that you really have to kind of like think about what kind of music. It's never the usual cha-cha slides or the Macarinas and things like that you naturally do. You're going to play, you might play that equivalent of music, but it's going to be from a foreign land, shall we say, from a different country. It might be the Russian or the Bulgarian version or equivalent of. So doing weddings here in Cyprus in particular is, as I said, very interesting and an eye opener where you get to discover new cultures and new religions and beliefs and how their weddings work and how they wish to incorporate it within a multinational reception, multinational wedding.
So now, if you get couples that are from two nationalities, do you have some sort of interpreter, or how does that work for you when you have to do that? Obviously, there's a lot of research to do for music and so forth, but I would imagine they would fill a form of some sort out, or
Yeah, obviously, I speak with them. I always try and make sure that I'm in full contact with the clients from the moment I get the booking. So if a venue contacts me and says, this couple here would like to book you as your DJ, from that moment on, I'm either in contact via social media or Facebook. But talking with them is obviously a key aspect to find out what kind of music. If it's music, like, for example, when I did a Lebanese wedding, the bride gave me a few CDs, more than what I was needed, but I then went through all the music. I listened to it. I did a little bit of research. I then put together a playlist, and she actually said to me that she had guests coming up going, I don't believe you brought your own DJ from Lebanon. They actually thought I was a Lebanese DJ because I was mixing the music. I listened to the music, I listened to the beats, and I put them together to go, well, you know what, this is all going to go together well. And I mixed it all together, and I basically passed with flying colours when the guests thought I was actually Lebanese and they didn't realise I was a local DJ.
well,
But with regards
that's
to
the highest compliment. They thought you were from somewhere else. That's wonderful.
but yeah, more often than not, if they have parents or grandparents that are from the bride or groom's country, they may not be multilingual and be able to speak or understand English. So I have done weddings where it's like the Eurovision Song Contest where we've had to say everything 3 times. I'm saying it in English. Then we have another guy, a guest member translating it into one language. Then we have another guest member translating it into a third language, which gets quite interesting. Yeah, we have to say almost say the same thing 3 times. But we are talking, this might be a wedding of 200-300 people, which for some people may not be a big wedding, but understandably, as it's a destination wedding, everybody's travelled from a foreign land. Everybody's had to take time off of work, the costing, etc. So sometimes I've done weddings as small as, I think actually my smallest wedding was 6 people, and my largest wedding was 350. So one extreme to the other. But yes, translations can be a bit difficult. But the clients know this. The clients understand this, and more often than not, sometimes they bring in a compere, shall we say, that I work with that speaks Russian, for example, or they'll get a guest, and I work with the guest, and I say, look, this is the script. This is what I discussed with the bride and groom. They're there when I do the meetings with them, so they're on the same ball. They're on the same page. They know exactly what's going to be happening and when it's happening.
It sounds like you're very thorough. What inspired me about your story and talking to you here in the chill room off camera is that in the States, there are many people that live near destinations. Let's say it could be Disney World or, a famous vineyard or something like that, that maybe you don't even know that you could be a destination DJ if you actually, target, like you did with the certain groups for that area, or even do a campaign of some sort where, hey, you can be their DJ. They don't have to there, because there's quite a few here in the States where they pay for the airfare and they pay for the hotel. But if you're already living in that destination area, you could be a destination DJ, much like yourself, where they don't have to pay extra to fly you because you're already there. So that was what I was hoping that our guests could take from this, is the possibility of being a destination DJ, even though you don't have to fly somewhere. So
Yeah. What I would say to other people that want to take an avenue of destination weddings, because obviously this then, if you have the ability to work during the week, obviously some people may have day jobs during the week or night jobs during the week, so they're not able to do that. But if you have the opportunity to be able to do that, then contact wedding planners that you know specialize in destination weddings. Or for example, what I did, I actually managed to find briefly, there is a Facebook page called Florida Destination Weddings. So that's the kind of thing. So obviously if you're in Florida and you wanted to do that, then you sign up to that page, and then when you're allowed to, because some pages only allow advertising on certain days, for example. But
Right.
if you can advertise on that page, advertise on that page, because that's the kind of Facebook page similar to the ones I advertise on, because it is what it says on the label. It's Florida Destination Wedding. So I'm sure you can probably find New York Destination Weddings or Las Vegas Destination Weddings. So obviously the people that are on that Facebook page, as it's a destination, it may be internal. They may be, say, flying from Las Vegas to Florida. That's still a destination wedding, not necessarily from abroad. But those are the kind of pages that you want to focus on, because obviously that's what that page is all about.
Yes, I do very much the same thing, where we have, on the first of the month, you're allowed in these groups to link your website, or in my case, I also will post my electronic press kit. I will send them to the different venues and so forth, and see if I can get some work that way. So Alex, thank you so much. It's a very inspirational story, and I really hope it's helped a lot of people here. So thank you so much for being
Well,
on. I appreciate
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Alrighty. That'll do it. Tune in next week, 10 o'clock, hanging out with Howie. I don't know what we're going to talk about next week, but we'll think of something. Good night, everyone.
Good night.